Joining us now with stories trending around the world is Aneze Osakwe. Well, yes. By the way, one of my friends, Clement Bemudu, who was my friend, classmate, Calabar, 81 to 85. He said I don't pronounce the name Aneze very well. That Aneze means heaven, but that what I say is something else. What's the correct pronunciation?
Well, my full name is actually Anyeze Chukwu.
Anyeze Chukwu.
Yes, which is God's kingdom. So that's the full, yes. Anyeze Chukwu. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Well, you guys are really bringing everything to this.
Everything we do here. The guy sent me long notice, sent pronunciation.
Wow.
And all that. Maybe I Yorubanize it.
Yes, a little bit.
I will learn it properly.
A little bit.
Okay, thank you, Clement.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Dr. Abachi. Good to see you. Good to be here with you. Vimbai, good morning.
Good morning, Annie. We're waiting for your Davos Chronicles.
Yes, Davos content coming soon.
Annie Geneva.
Annie Geneva, exactly. He knows.
C'est fini là-bas.
C'est fini là-bas. And
the accent.
Good morning to everyone out there. Thank you all for starting your day with us. We begin what's trending in Abuja, with countless reactions from social media to the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's son, Abba Atiku, making the unexpected decision, as you see there, to ditch his father's former party, the People's Democratic Party, and join the ruling All Progressives Congress. Now, the defection was announced on Thursday at the National Assembly alongside APC leaders from the Northeast, with Abba describing the move as historic and personal. He even said that he wants to be instrumental in bringing President Tinubu's second term to life. But shortly after that revelation, the former vice president reacted himself swiftly to his son's decision. And in a Thursday evening post on X, Atiku seemed somewhat okay with his son's decision, saying, and I'll take Atiku's tweet, "The decision of my son, Abba Abubakar, to join the APC is entirely personal. In a democracy, such choices are neither unusual nor alarming, even when family and politics intersect. As a Democrat, I do not coerce my own children in matters of conscience, and I certainly will not coerce Nigerians. What truly concerns me is the poor governance of the APC and the severe economic and social hardships it has imposed on our people. I remain resolute in working with like-minded patriots to restore good governance and offer Nigerians a credible alternative that brings relief, hope, and progress." And I'll take one more reaction from Fisayo, who says, Atiku is in ADC, but his son, formerly of the PDP, has joined APC with a vow to work for Tinubu in 2027. Now, Atiku has released a statement defending his son's entirely personal decision, saying he won't coerce his son to act against his convictions. But you, an Ojuelegba-based civil servant earning $85K a month, have begun sharpening your machete to inflict damage on a fellow victim of Nigeria who won't vote for APC. Your tomfoolery is indescribable.
Very apt.
Very apt. And in a statement from the Lagos chapter of the APC, they basically asked the question that if a man's son deserts his political judgment, how do you expect an entire nation to support you? So how has all of this made Atiku's potential run for president more difficult? Dr. Abati, I'll start with you.
No, the people asking the question, saying, oh, if the son goes to another party, then it means why should the nation vote for the man? No, that's completely irrelevant. The son, Abba Abubakar, is an adult. He has, under the constitution of the country, the right to make his own choice. Politics is not something that is genetic. You can make your own choice depending on your own circumstances and your own beliefs. And what the son of the Waziri Adamawa has said is that he believes in the Restore Hope agenda and that he wants to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, and he wants to support him to be re-elected. And that he has been inspired by the likes of Senator Barau Jibrin, who is the Deputy Senate President. He was very clear enough, and he's an adult. He can make up his own mind. And it's just as well that his father says, well, it's a personal choice. He's not in a position to dictate either to Nigerians or to his own children, because this is a democratic process where people can make their own choices. And when we discussed this earlier on, I said this is not the first time this will happen. In March 1957, I said, in the federal elections, Abba Atiku, a renowned educationist in this country, whose image is on the 10 naira note of Nigeria, was in one political party, UNIP, United National Independent Party. His son, Samuel Ikoku, was in an action group. Both father and son wanted the same position in the Eastern Region House of Assembly. Now, the son defeated the father, and the son went ahead to become the leader of the opposition in that Eastern Nigeria House of Assembly. They didn't stop being father and son because they made different choices. In this case, Abba Abubakar is not running for presidency of Nigeria. He said he has a different person that should be president. So I don't see why people are now trying to say if his son rejects him, then it means he's not good enough for other Nigerians. No, that's too pedestrian, a way to see the matter.
As usual.
Very interesting.
Dr. Abati, one part you didn't say about that story,
Yes.
about Abba Atiku's son, is that after the son beats the father,
Yes.
Alvan's the son's re-election was now sponsored by his father.
Well,
So he didn't even stop him from because of the fact that they have political difference. After the son beat the father, and Alva didn't get it, and his son got it. When his son was about to go for re-election, the father now supported fully his son. So you see, I know they will make political capital out of it because that's what they look for. When you talk about the fact that there's unemployment, there's high cost of living, people are suffering, inflation is killing people now, they will act like an earthworm that they pour salt on. They don't want to hear that one. When you talk about the killing and insecurity, they don't want to discuss that one. It's conversations about, oh, the son they come to us and then you use to push propaganda. That is what is affecting. And that's why I believe in Fisayo's tweets when he said, somebody that is suffering from the destruction and the pain caused by decisions made in this country will be the one to be carrying the placard and be shouting to the earth and come back. Yeah. People have a right of different political will.
And as we talk...
And let me remind them, ASCE has only one vote.
And, you
well,
know...
he has supporters. And he has a political organization, which is now ASCE Bola Tinubu organization. And he has directed that all his supporters should move to that ASCE Bola Tinubu organization. I think it adds color and meaning to the right to choose.
Certainly.
In a
He can
democracy.
vote twice. It's only once he will vote.
He can mobilize people.
He will mobilize. Other people too mobilize. But it's only once he will put a thumbprint on the ballot.
Yes, and as we...
Abinobiso, c'est fini là-bas.
And as we talk about politics, let's stay on this for one more story where new comments from the former vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Datti Baba-Ahmed, have sparked controversy on social media after he said that anyone who wants a shot at beating President Tinubu in 2027 will have to have a red eye to do so. Now, Baba-Ahmed made these comments during an interview released on Thursday on the show Nigeria Right Now. And in this interview, he emphasized that a hands-on, more ferocious approach to the opposition is the opposition's only chance. Let's watch.
Must be ready to, I'll use the word red eye. You must show your red eyes if you're going to defeat Tinubu. Because on that day that they're declaring the result, the people declaring a fake result are criminals. And those who are stopping the declaration of fake results are good citizens. So what they normally do is to tell the law enforcement, hey, look, these people are stopping me from declaring the wrong results. They are criminals, they are breaking your law. So,
and they are the ones breaking the law.
The ones breaking the law. Can you see, they are stopping me from committing a crime.
Yeah.
They are stopping me from, catch them, they are stopping me from rigging this election. Whoever is going to defeat Tinubu must do red eye. show red eye.
Now, with these comments, we're clearly seeing the former vice presidential candidate make it clear that there's a certain level of ruggedness, brutality even necessary for 2027. And while people may know this already, it's something else to say it out loud. Vimbai?
Well, I think that it's important that Baba-Ahmed and commentators and all those engaged in the process remember and be reminded that what we seek for is a constitutional order. We don't seek for anarchy. We don't seek for a situation where red eye. No. I think that his advocacy is misdirected. He has highlighted realities that a lot of people can relate to. But we are still in a process of trying to lobby and push and encourage the National Assembly to push through the electoral reforms. And that's where I would have expected him to direct his energy towards. Because anarchy at the end of the day doesn't benefit anybody. Earlier this morning when we started the show, we were talking about the gun hegemony. And in essence, Baba-Ahmed is saying that, the gun hegemony should be transferred from one place to the next place. And in the morning, we did a comparative analysis. We said, let's look at the colonial era. There are scholars, I referred to J.F. Adeajayi of the Ibadan School of History, who says that, colonialism wasn't the root of gun hegemony. When we talk gun hegemony, we talk about the politics of power, harsh politics, raw politics, Machiavellian politics. And there are examples that were given that, when the British write their own account, they say that, we encouraged them and we created the scenario. Now there's another group that are coming and saying that, in fact, it was the military rule that pushed us into this type of politics that we have today and that created a constitution that doesn't allow for true federalism to be, and for true representation and for each region to be able to realize its maximum potential, if I may say that. So I think the conversation we should be having is how not to move from one gun hegemony of colonialism to the next gun hegemony of military rule into yet another gun hegemony where we are now saying we're doing election with red eye, grab it. No. That's insightful. And it's wrong. What we want to do is we want to sit down and say, how can we get this thing right in a civilized way, in an orderly way, and in a sustainable way that ensures that citizens' voices are heard and that political class and elite class are not continuously oppressing the masses and having their way when the majority should be having their way at elections.
Okay, I want to question the metaphor. When Dr. Baba-Ahmed says red eye, having a red eye is an allergy. You have glaucoma, you have conjunctivitis, you have Apollo, if you want to use that expression. You can't see clearly. So that metaphor is questionable. But I get his point about the fact that people must fight for their rights. The way Mr. Peter Obi says, rigging is that rigging will be resisted. The other major point that he made is that there is no going to court, which is an expression of the fact that he personally has lost faith in the courts of the land. And he thinks that, even the courts breach the Constitution. Those are the key points.
Yes.
The red eye doesn't look to me like the right kind of poverty. Because if you want to stop rigging, you must see clearly. If you have glaucoma, what are you going to stop?
With due respect, let me now reinterpret his red eye something.
Well, it's a clear metaphor. Red eye.
Let me reinterpret it. See, Dr. Abati, yes, we don't want elections where people peddle all sorts and manipulate. But were we not here when Jennifer got a red eye because Talk stabbed her because she wanted to vote in Lagos? Were we not here? Presidential election, they didn't carry Uru. Remember, no Uru. As they lost Lagos in presidential election, governorship election, some days Uru came out. We saw Uru. All of us saw the Uru everywhere to cleanse the land. So, you see, Nigeria election, you don't even need to have a red eye, Dr. Abati. The election will always give you red eye on its own. Because either beaten by political class. What are we saying, Dr. Abati? Let's go there. Okpe here. Where's Okpe? Okpe is not here. Didn't Okpe get a red eye for going to cover election and he was beaten by some people. Don't we know those people that beat Okpe? Our cameraman here. So what we are just begging is that let us stop red eye in election. Let the people will be done. But in terms of red eye, yakpa yaski, yakpa gun.
To that point, let's switch gears and head over to Kogi State, where the state governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, on Thursday orchestrated the destruction of a major notorious structure called Sambel Joint. This is a place believed to have been linked to criminal activity. Now, earlier in the day, the state government did warn that this might happen, putting out a statement saying that any property found to have been illegally acquired or used for criminal activity would be reclaimed by the government. Now, the state governor, also speaking himself, said his administration has a zero-tolerance policy for criminal activity. Let's watch.
Work to secure my people. This demolition you are seeing here today is to give our people the needed security they deserve. We have discovered that criminals have taken over this property. This property is owned by government, but fraudulently it was issued to an individual. And of course, when we discover that the activities going on here is giving our people unrest, so we have to take a bold decision to secure our people, because that is part of what I have signed to do. And as I've said, I will never negotiate with any.
Now, these kinds of demolitions also took place during the former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello's administration. We're seeing it happen again now. But Vimbai, I'll come to you on this. How much of a dent does this actually make when it comes to reducing terrorism threats? Don't they just move somewhere else? Or, how are you seeing this?
Well, we've seen this in Edo State as well, where the governor has decided that he wants to demolish these hideouts. So it's popular. It is a popular approach because, in essence, you're going to the headquarters of those establishments. Yes, the argument is that they'll relocate elsewhere, but at least you're dispersing them sort of from the central operations where they're able to run their war economy, if I may call it that. Because remember, what we're seeing now has evolved into an economy. We've had several analysts who've come to say that the communities are shielding some of these perpetrators, because if you trade in, let's say if you trade in snacks, they're ready to pay a premium on whatever they need, whether it's fuel, all of their supplies. They're all purchased from within the community. The communities know them, but they fuel this economy that's profitable and that leads communities to be ready to sort of collaborate with them and protect them. So if you're flushing them out of communities, I think it's a level of, if I may use the term non-kinetic, that that detaches them from that, shall I call it a human shield type of scenario, and takes them to a place where, okay, if it's airstrikes you're going to use, or if it's kinetic force you're going to use, at least they're in a secluded area. So from that strategic perspective, I think it does pay out. It does have a benefit, but we're not seeing it. So theoretically, it's supposed to be beneficial, but I think this has just become a trend that a lot of governors are embarking on as a mask for other activities that they want to pursue.
Interesting. And from Kogi State, let's now head to Lagos, where a new video is trending on social media as it shows the moment and the aftermath that a school collapses in the middle of a lecture at Odo Kekere Primary High School in Ikorodu on Thursday afternoon. As of now, we know that no student or teacher was injured or killed, thankfully, but this has brought to the surface conversations around student safety, infrastructure, and the fact that this could have had very serious consequences. Let's take a look.
In Odokekere community, a building collapsed in the primary school in the Odokekere community. As you are seeing in this video, the building first collapsed. After the building collapsed, the fence now collapsed.
This is Odokekere High School at Ikorodu. School collapsed. Now I'm wondering why they have receiving lecture in the class. But we thank God nothing happened. And the funniest part is that the school authorities, they are shouting for people not to video. And is this still not worth videoing?
Now, an official investigation would be needed to determine what caused this exactly from the state government as well as the school's administrators. But this is traumatizing for students, for teachers who were in that building, given that we know how deadly building collapses can be, Rufai.
It's a very sad one. At first, I think the Lagos state government, couple of things, ideas. Can we take an integrity test on the quality of most of the state schools we have all over Lagos? So we even know the state of play of the building. They will get away with this and a lot because we are not in a country where laws are affected. But you know, if we're in a country where laws are affected, do you know the class action lawsuit that will have gone on? If it was a country where you had laws, if this happened in a country where you had laws, by today, it's either the government will be looking for how it's going to pay back all the legal monies. So can we do a general audit? Secondly, can we also, please, put monitors in there to be able to check and assess the level of infrastructure or infrastructural decay among public institutions? Can we do those two things? At first, a general audit for all what we have. Then put people in place that are constantly checking infrastructure so that we don't have things like this.
So important. Students and teachers need to be safe. And from Lagos, let's now head to Anambra State briefly, where on Thursday, the state governor, Lecture+Soludo, sparked a lot of reactions on social media after he called out young people in the state for their low enlistment levels into the army and police force. Now, the governor made these comments during celebrations of the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in Awka, where he said that young people should enlist ASAP to avoid future complaints of Igbo marginalization. Let's take a look.
The Civil War ended 56 years ago. Because still, our youths from the southeast, and particularly from Anambra, the last recruitment exercise into the army and even into the police force, the Anambra, I think, had the lowest expression of interest in the country. I want to use this opportunity to call on our youths to enlist in the armed forces of Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We cannot participate in it by avoiding it.
Now, earlier this year, the Nigerian army did publicly express concern over the low number of applications from states in the southeast. But if young people aren't, joining the military, the big question is, what is the state and the military doing to make it more inciting that people can actually see it as a real career path? And let's briefly stay in Anambra to issue a correction on a story we took this week about the masquerade attack in Anambra State. Now, the event took place during the last Ofala festival for the late traditional ruler of Ubu and not His Royal Highness Igwe Michael Okeke Uche. Now, under Milestones, where today we are celebrating the 67th birthday of Helen Folashade Adu, also known as Sade, the multiple Grammy Award-winning British-Nigerian artist who captivated generations of music enthusiasts with her smooth, soulful, and unique sound. Now, Sade was born in Ibadan on the 16th of January to a Nigerian father and a British mother. She grew up in England, initially studying fashion at Central St. Martin's University in London, but it was her foray into music that would ultimately bring her global acclaim. Now, she rose to prominence in the mid-'80s with her band's debut album titled Diamond Life, which featured classics like Smooth Operator and Your Love is King, and it was her unique voice and intentional production value that offered a more serene contrast to that era's flashier, more upbeat pop sounds. By 1992, she released the album Love Deluxe, which featured the Grammy-winning hit No Ordinary Love. Now, Sade was appointed as a commander of the Order of the British Empire in 2018, and she generally keeps a very low profile away from the limelight, but she has a global legion of fans, and it's a fan base that has transcended nations, it's transcended generations, from Ibadan to the world. Happy birthday to Sade. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for your great analysis. Happy Friday.
Thank you very much. And have great fun in Davos.
Thank you.
Take a lot of warm clothing.
Yes.